Hey guys, RaceCleaner24 here with another tutorial, and today I'm going to be walking you through how to take your cheap or expensive microphone and turn it from something like this to something like this. All with a free piece of software called Voicemeet. We're going to get more realistic tones and a lot more adjustability all on the fly. Now the first thing we're going to notice when we go to the VB Audio site, link is in the description, is that we have standard Voicemeet, banana, and potato. Potato is the newest. The differences between these softwares are how many inputs and outputs you have, and adjustability and features. For today's video, we're going to be using the original Voicemeet. This is all we'll need to make our microphone sound great. It's going to keep things simple, fast, and easy. Scroll down to the bottom of this page and click Install Voicemeet. Once we have it downloaded, just double click the install file. Mine shows remove because I already have it installed, but yours will say install. Once it's completed, it'll ask you to restart. You must restart because it's actually installing an audio driver and will not function until you are booted back up. Once we've restarted our computer and we're back into Windows, we can go down to our search bar here and type in Voicemeet. And we're going to start by selecting our hardware input. It's very critical that we select the MME version. This is going to be whatever microphone that you're using. I'm using my Corsair Void headset, so I'm going to select. The next we're going to do is we're going to select our hardware output. I am also using my Corsair headset to listen, and it's important that we select the WDM option. At this point, you should be able to hear yourself talking through your microphone. This IntelliPan is going to be our biggest option for adjusting our sound. My microphone struggles at low audio notes, so I'm going to put it down there. But if my microphone was too low, I could make it higher, and I could add brightness as well, even getting an FX echo into it. I'm going to leave mine right about here, which sounds the most natural from my sounding microphone. We also have an audibility setup right here. What this will do is that if you have a desktop microphone or one that has a lot of background noise, like a fan or something like that, we can increase this property and it will cut out the noise the best you can. If you raise this value too much, you might clip your own sound, so play with it yourself and see what happens. We also have our mic gain down here. We can make our mic louder or quieter. I'm going to leave mine right about the middle. Now we have our output selection. We want this one to be our B, and we want this one to be our A. Hardware input 2, because we're not using it, we can just leave off. Our virtual input here, where we selected A, this is your PC audio. We can adjust our bass, mids, and highs, which I like to just leave alone, and our volume, which I'm also going to leave alone. At this point, you shouldn't hear yourself talking anymore. Now that we've selected our sources, this will be your final setup for Voicemeet. We basically don't need to touch this again, but what we do need to do is go into Windows and adjust some settings to make it all work. The first thing we're going to do is type into our search bar, Control Panel, and we're going to click on Hardware and Sound. If your screen looks differently, it might be because you have the view by category changed. Change it back to category and click on Hardware and Sound. Once we hit this screen, we're going to click on Sound until we have this menu here. I'm going to minimize this because we will not need it anymore. And we need to change two things. On our playback, which will have our set default speakers, which would normally be my Corsair headset for me, we now need to change it to Voicemeet input, and it's going to be the VAIO1, non-aux, not 3. And we're going to set that as our default. Then we need to go to our recording tab, which would normally be my Corsair headset. And we're going to go all the way down, and we see Voicemeet output, and we need to do the exact same thing and set that as default. If you have more than one microphone in your setup, you could also make a second hardware input, and it will automatically add on to these without any other configurations. Now that we've done that, Voicemeet is set up. Your new mic should sound fantastic, but don't run off just yet because I have a couple other tips and tricks that you're going to need to know for using this program in the long term. The first thing we need to talk about is how Voicemeet works in an everyday situation. When this program is open and you have your audio set to the Voicemeet input and the output, it will work flawlessly. The moment we close Voicemeet, we'll have no more audio. And what we have to do is we have to select our actual speakers again, like my Corsair Void headset. What I like to do is go to Menu and select System Tray, Run at Startup. That way Voicemeet is always going to boot up when I first start Windows. The other issue that we're going to have is that our volume slider down here from Windows, it will be the exact same volume all the time. This gain adjustment right here will adjust your PC audio volume. If we're using a specific program like we're on YouTube or using Spotify, we can use the built-in volume slider and that will work no problem. But for day-to-day use when you're not recording and you don't need microphone usage, going down here and selecting your headset will bring everything, or other speakers will bring everything back to normal. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me in the comments. Maybe check out my other video on setting up OBS for beginners. And I hope you have a great day.